Hey Pisces, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in with me. I really had kind of an interesting experience dipping into the Pisces collective energy today. It felt a bit like one of those 1960s B flick occult films, It had that sort of like pulp fiction kind of vibe. I got like your life is stranger than pulp fiction right now. There's some Scorpio themes running through your life at this time. You may find yourself really resonating with Scorpios right now. You may really understand their language on a deeper level. It's interesting. I think there's a lot of eighth house matters that you're tending to at this time. You may be dancing with the taboo, okay? You might be getting really acquainted with that Pluto energy. We do have Saturn in Pisces right now, and currently Pluto is in Capricorn and Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. So it's an interesting energy to have Saturn in Pisces. Pisces is so mutable and so fluid and able to kind of shape shift and take on different forms. Very chameleon kind of quality I was getting with your energy at this time, adapting to your environment, adapting to the energy around you, that this has been somewhat of a strategy for you if you are to be honest with yourself. Interesting. I think you feel like there is a bit of intrigue in the situations you're dealing with, or there's things that are hidden. You have some things hidden too. You have some secrets, but you suspect that others have secrets as well, even those that you feel like everything is above board with, or at least that's the surface appearance of things. You think there's a lot of subtext right now, and your mind is kind of running wild. It was really unusual as I was preparing the decks and shuffling, just getting all the energy cleared out. And I do 3 separate cuts into 3 separate piles and bring the deck back together again just to really clear it out after I've shuffled it. Every single time on the cut, it kept flashing between, on the bottom deck energy, the Death card and the 7 of Cups, the Death card and the 7 of Cups, the Death card and the 7 of Cups. And I have this feeling that you're going through this sort of initiation that involves a bit of casting a glamour on yourself. It's interesting. It is that kind of like Hall of Mirrors sort of energy, but it's also something about being caught up in a fantasy and then realizing that the fantasy doesn't really live up to its potential in reality. This is kind of the way it wants to come through. And so you revision it. You try something a little different. You look for another approach or another way in or another way to see how there's something that can come out of this. And it was wild because right in tandem with this kind of message came in, what you want wants you, but you may be surprised by what you want. And when that came in, I saw that it was 88% power, okay, on my phone. And so 88 is a power number for you. I do feel like something is manifesting for you at this time. It's something that actually allows you to come more into your power and maybe to have a sharing of power in a special connection. 4:44 on the clock. There's something kismet about this. Just as that came in, there was a sparrow that flew from the west to the east here. So I do feel like there's some kind of healing coming through communication. The 16th was highlighted as an important day for you. And it's almost like the 7, because 1 and 6 is 7. The 7 goes to the 8, okay, for both of you. So there's something that comes in very synchronistically, some kind of communication. And for some of you, it may be just like an inner knowing you have, or something that comes through in almost a mystical sort of way. I got that. or the communication that comes in, it's deep. It's a spiritual communication. It's a soul level communication. This isn't like, hey, how you doing? How's the weather? There's something that really opens up here that changes a perspective. And it brings about an alignment and a balance of power in a situation where something's been off kilter. All right. I do want to kind of clear out the energy real fast, 5:55 on the clock, because I do feel a little bit with that fluctuating between the death energy to the Seven of Cups. That's kind of a murky, very Neptunian energy that is merged with that Scorpio undercurrent. So there's a lot of like fantasy and dreamscape stuff going on, but it is going on in the subconscious and in more of the shadowy realm. So that can cause some interesting territory to move through. And this is really energy that all of the collective is moving through. These are major transits that are affecting all of us. So I just want to bring in a little bay leaf here. And maybe also bring in a little bit of that hawk medicine to get perspective and clarity, to get a different view, a bird's eye view, and to align with the synchronicities and messages from spirit, bringing in a little of that transformational fire, the energy of the South, okay, to let things be released, transformed in that South node. Just clearing away the energy. It's interesting because I've been, watching that web outside the window, and today, no mama spider, but a little itsy beansy baby spider that's out there just sort of minding the web. Okay, so you may be in a place where you're not actively doing major manifesting at this time. You're looking at the details of what's already been set in motion. I just keep getting this vibe like you're looking at the undercurrent of situations. You're digging a little deeper. You know that the devil's in the details. Mouse medicine coming through in that regard, right? With the details. It is in the details. It's about the little things that seem like they're not really anything at all. They actually have a greater effect than is realized, right? You may think that something is unassuming or someone's unassuming, and actually they have more might. I just heard Mighty Mouse. That might be a connection for somebody, okay? What did he say? Was he the one who said, "Here I come to save the day"? Okay, there might be somebody coming in to save the day. I felt really called to open up your energy with a Sacred Rebels Oracle. So we're going to go ahead and dive on into that. This is for any significant Pisces placement, or if you have a prominent placement in the 12th house. Also, if you're a Virgo rising, that makes you a Pisces descendant, and you may find resonance with this read. Also, collective, you can benefit. We're all moving through some pretty heavy duty Pluto, Saturn energy right now. We're all balancing out stuff at that, South node with Libra, weighing everything up, 911 on the clock with that. Okay, so there's something here where you have to activate your inner trust to come into a place of balance, right? There's something that you know is true within yourself, and this may have something to do with balancing out some shadowy material, let's say. All right, I want to go ahead and give a few more shuffles here, and then we will move forward with that. Okay, so there is something that's being balanced out at this time. I do feel like you've been sort of coming to a place where you accept endings, or you accept what closes. And then it's almost like you revision it, you redream it, you wonder if it could be something else, okay? There's something here about trusting where you're being led at this time, and also understanding that the destination may be really different than you think, but what you want wants you. You just may not realize you want it yet. That's what it's coming through. It's coming through in that way, okay? And I mean, it's a good message because it does really highlight that wherever you're going, it's where you're going to want to be. So this is good, okay? Bottom of the deck energy. Yes, look at this. Pandora's gift. Hermit energy there with that 45. So I do feel like there's something that comes through. It's something that brings about a transformation through a heavy situation. I mean, that energy is so forward in your collective, moving through that Pluto terrain. And it makes sense, you know, because that's the work right now. 1111, it's what's required to move you into alignment. You may have opened up a particular box of darkness. You may be just starting to realize what the gift is in that is. Okay, there could be something coming through that really highlights what that was about, like why you needed to maybe play with the taboo or invite your dark side forward to play for a bit. Okay, this coming in, we got here. Yes, look at this, Sacred Fool. It's that trickster medicine, you know. There is something here where maybe you were dealing with power dynamics. There could have been somebody here who wanted to orchestrate the moves of another, or you may have been in this position where you wanted to kind of pull someone's strings. There was something here, though, that was really about recognizing that where this kind of element was in play, where somebody felt like they had control of orchestrating somebody else's moves, or they were playing them in some way, that they were actually in the process of kind of glamorizing themselves, like playing themselves. You know, it's a mirroring kind of energy right now. This is understanding the ways that we kind of go in circles, chasing our own tail when we're in the pursuit of a particular outcome, or we really get our expectations set on a certain destination. There can be ways that we can convince ourselves that we can bypass the natural order of things and really sway things to be the way we think they should be. But there's always a higher balance that comes through. And there's always a higher perspective and a higher level of truth. Sometimes truth is not absolute. You know, people talk about absolute truth a lot, but there can be many different people in a situation where they have different views. And all of those views can be true, even though they're at odds with each other. And that's where you get that free will piece in. I do feel like you've been dealing with these themes. I do feel like you may have been wondering who's been pulling the strings. And I also feel like this is something that's karmically going down on the worldwide stage, you know? Who's playing who? You know what I mean? There's something here. Who really is pulling the strings? I think this is something that the collective in general is waking up to look at. There's something that comes through here, though, through all of the smoke and mirrors and through all of the folly, that does bring a beautiful alignment and a gift. And it is that journey of transformation. It is the journey of the alchemist. What's on the bottom of the deck here? Look at this. I'm telling you, you have these themes so front and center. 44, vision of life beyond death, coming in here. We got the owl medicine coming in. Owl is about the mysteries. It's about wisdom, the ability to see through the shadowy terrain, to see through the dark. Owl is also about magic. Magic is always afoot when Owl is present. We also have the energy of Sagittarius, and that 9th house. Owl is associated with Sagittarius on the Native American birth totem astrological wheel, you could say. And it's also known in Native tribes in America, by many of them, as being taboo. okay, and as being a deceiver or the usher of a death, okay? It's possible that you are going through some kind of death in your life. And I'm not going to dishonor it by saying you're dealing with issues of unaliving. That just is, to me, it takes away the sacredness of this kind of a passage. And we need to reclaim that this is a rite of passage, the endings in life, whether it's the physical ending or whether it's the ending of a significant chapter in our life that feels like a physical death, okay? There's some sacred medicine that's coming through here. I also feel there is a certain guidance you're getting beyond the veil, probably from a grandmother energy that you feel very close to. For some of you, this could even be a guide. You could be speaking with the grandmothers, okay? That might be coming through for you very strongly if you do have native roots. I also feel like this peacock energy is there, and peacock makes me think of Oshun, right? So I got a lot of cross-cultural medicines coming in here too. You may have been exploring different cultural traditions and maybe exploring your particular lineages, looking at your ancestry, learning about the spirituality, the beliefs, the practices associated with your bloodline. You may be really embracing the magic of your bloodline. You may have been passed something down from a grandmother that's getting ready to awaken in you. I feel like with that full moon energy there, awaken in you on the 19th with the Aquarian full moon. This comes after an important communication, something that feels a bit heaven sent, perhaps, coming in on the 16th, that balances power in a situation. I feel like there's protection here too of some beauty that wants to bloom in your life. And you're going by feel, okay? So when I think about also what is life beyond death, I think of the energy of love, because love never truly dies. It merely transforms and takes on new form. And I feel like this is also what is birthing a vision for you. There's a vision of love, all right? Interesting, that song by Mariah Carey. That's real old school, but that's coming through. There might actually be a message in that song just for that to come in the way it did. I'll post a link to that song or the lyrics so you all can read those and just see what the message is there. But I do feel like whatever's happening here, it's happening because there's been a completion of a karmic cycle. Something's come to a close here. There has been an ending. And also with this raven medicine here, that is that Libra energy that's associated with Libra on the native birth totem wheel there. So I do feel like this is also speaking of something has come to a close at the South Node, and you're ready to rise up out of this. There's some manifestation. 8 is a big power number for you. 8 coming through really strong. Life path 8, could be dealing with a life path 8. Definitely dealing with, 8th house matters, Scorpio kind of territory. You may be really drawn to Scorpios right now, really relating to Scorpios right now. There could be a significant Scorpio coming into your life, or any of these characters that I brought in. But when I think of Yeye Oshun and I think of the peacock, I think of the beauty, and I think of the love, and I think of the sweet waters, and just moving into that place of tapping into maybe more of the sweetness. It's like there needs to be a little bit of tempering here. I almost feel like somebody has been playing in the shadow for too long, and they need to let some of the sweetness in to balance things out as well. Because whenever I think of Libra, I think of that ability to balance between shadow and light, which is really what the Libra energy is about. You could have a strong Libra placement in your chart, but there's something here about moving out of the shadow and bringing a little bit more of the sweetness, the beauty, the love in. Asking yourself, are the visions that I have aligned with that spirit of love? Okay, let me go ahead and do a cut of the deck here, and then we'll bring in some more energies and see how this continues to develop. Defend to the end the worthwhile. And look, we got the great horned owl there as a headdress. So there's something here you want to rise up out of. And I do feel it's tinged by the shadow. And there's something that you feel almost like you got an activation of like that warrior spirit within you around, like something you feel you need to take a stand for. And it's coming through you very strongly. I also feel there is protection here, despite the fact that things may seem a bit unstable or at times even chaotic. The changes you're going through are necessary. They're tempering you. Maybe you had a wish, you wanted to grow spiritually. We always make those wishes to grow and then we forget what it entails. You may have wanted to grow on a particular path of spiritual study as well. You may be going through some kind of spiritual initiation and you're being tempered in such a way that it's about cultivating resilience in you. Right. So I think there's also like a bravery to face the darkness, or maybe to face what one has feared that's coming through here. Look at this. Again, we got this 35 energy. That's 8 conscious connections. And I feel like the conscious connections are first happening within yourself. It's like you're consciously connecting the subconscious with the conscious. You're making the unconscious conscious, and thereby you're gaining mastery over fate, and you're able to weave it into destiny. 22:44 on the clock, all right? That's 4/8, all right? Yes. And maybe this is why on the web today, there's just an eensy beensy spider there that's sort of minding things, because you're just at the beginning of weaving this new web into being, maybe weaving it with a different vision in mind. Something's coming into alignment here. I also feel that as you form this conscious connection with yourself, you find it mirrored in your connections with others, where there's been some kind of fallout or discrepancy or inability to connect in a way that feels fulfilling or feels harmonious or feels like it's on an even playing field. Because I do have like inequities and power dynamics here. All right. Let's dive a little deeper. I did want to pull out a goddess guidance card for you too. I do think you do need to have some boundaries here with Ishtar. Now we have to remember that Ishtar is the one who did the deep dive down into Hades and had to shed a garment or an adornment, which is interesting with that peacock energy, okay? Had to shed a garment or an adornment at each of the gates, the 7 gates of hell, okay? Before arriving naked in front of Ishkriel. But once there, it was this total transparency and renunciation of the old form, where she then rose as Inanna, queen of the heavens. So you're going through this kind of a journey here where you're integrating parts of yourself that maybe were left behind in the past, or maybe parts of yourself that you cast in shame or that others cast in shame. You're doing this major reclaiming right now. And there may be a lot of people that are pulling on you, or you may be dealing with people who want you to come to the rescue or want you to save them in some way. And there's something here about loving yourself enough to say, no, now is not the time for others' demands. Now is not the time for other people to be pulling on your energy. Now is the time for you really to be present with this process. There's something that's giving you a lot of strength here, all right? This is good energy. I want to get an over. Okay, that came quickly. Barely even got a chance to shuffle there. I like it. Yes. Yes, this feels good. Look at this, green Tara. All right, green Tara is a doer. She doesn't sit around. She doesn't rest on her laurels. She gets up, she gets to it, she gets done what needs to get done. She organizes things. Green Tara has the right foot forward because she's ready to take a step. She's ready to take action. And it says here, start delegating. You need to ask others to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. And she also says you should call on her too. Green Tara is wonderful for activating change, especially when you feel like you're moving through some heavy territory and you could use an assist. I do think you need to have focus here and activate your wisdom as you're shooting your shot toward what you want to call in for your future. Maybe getting clearer on your intention. Maybe creating more of an open-ended intention is what's coming through here instead of being so specific. How do you want to feel when you arrive at the place where you belong? What would it feel like in your body? What would the qualities be as opposed to the specifics? And then maybe ask just for the guidance to come through, for the path to rise up to meet you. You are watched over as you head down this path to align with your North Node. You could have an Aries who's kind of keeping an eye on you, or maybe even directing the way that you should maybe issue a particular message, or a way that you should set your sights to create some kind of transformation in a situation. And it says here, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected, okay? So everything is about you creating this space around what is dear to you and not allowing outside interference in any matters that you are grappling with right now, anything you're in a process of healing. This is a time for intimacy and where others can take the load a little bit or help smooth the way. It's perfectly acceptable to ask on their assistance, to ask for them to help you out with this as you navigate this terrain. Some of you may know somebody named Tara. Some of you may know somebody named Artemis. It wouldn't be unusual. I've encountered an Artemis myself, okay? So this energy coming through. And Artemis is all about selfhood too, a very empowered energy. And very much a warrior energy too, I have to say. It's known as the hunter, okay? So I know that there's something here you're on the hunt for. But there's a way that you can kind of trip yourself up if you think you know where you're going, because there's something about a surprise twist in your story where what you want wants you, but it's not what you think you want. Okay? It's how it's coming through. This is something that is going to take a lot of strength, though, to activate. Let me do a cut of the deck here, because that was wild how just like I went to go and shuffle. Wow, cut of the deck. Okay, we got Ishtar. So this is true, right? This is very important. Yes, and you're meant to just lavish on yourself right now with Aphrodite, right? That Venusian energy. You could have a strong Venus placement in Pisces or in the 12th house. This is about really activating the goddess within you and giving yourself time for just pleasure and to give back to yourself. It's really about that, lavishing on yourself, luxuriating in your own energy. I think you need that. You need that at this time. And it could be, that you're connecting with somebody very special or reconnecting with somebody very special. And there's a lot of sensitivity around that too. And so you need to create this space for you to be in your own energy, be in your own essence. So you can feel really empowered connecting with this person too. All right. It says, awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. So I do see you, getting in touch with that Venusian energy. We do have Venus going into Virgo, okay? You could have Venus in Virgo in the 12th house. That's possible, okay? That is the place where it's, they're mirrors for each other. Venus, um, Venus and Virgo with the house of Pisces, I have to say, okay? So you could be dealing with a situation that's involving a Virgo too. That's possible for that to come in. If you're a Virgo rising, this may be speaking really strongly to you, or those of you who have a Virgo Venus that's in the 12th house or is in some way aspected with Pisces. Okay, very interesting. There is something here that is giving you a lot of peace, though, as you just pull away, maybe from the confusion. Maybe there was a lot of confusion that kind of got stirred up by too many people's involvement in a situation. It took something that was very pure and that was very clear and was very true and distorted it. And there's something here about letting those waters settle and also giving yourself time to just get in your own energy without having so many other energies tapped into you. You may not realize how much energy you had taken on that was also, causing you to not have clarity in your situation. Could have even been the cause of disruption. All right, let's get some tarot here and see what wants to come in. Bottom of the deck, ships coming in. Okay, you've been waiting for something to develop here. Let's see if it's coming in. This is a big turning point. This is a gateway of transformation we're entering into here with Leo season. I do feel like Lionsgate will be significant for you on the 8th, okay, just because you have so much 8 energy running through your read. So do pay attention to that. Do look for 8 as a sign that you're coming into this alignment, that you're coming into this manifestation, or that your manifestation powers are heightened at that time. Okay, pay attention to what are your thoughts, what are your feelings when you notice 8, okay, because it's significant. You are really experiencing more rapid manifestation at this time. This could be one of those gifts that came through integrating some shadow stuff. You may have gained a certain power, a power of manifestation, all right? Maybe you were able to cast aside a block or an inhibition that kept you from really stepping into this power before. And now you have the opportunity to do so. But there's something about this, okay? So whenever you see the number 8, or there's that energy, coming around, or even the infinity symbol, which is just an 8 on its side, stop for a moment and just mind your thoughts. What are you thinking at that time? What are you feeling at that time? There can be the danger of, when your manifestation powers are really heightened, feeling can really activate a manifestation, and any intense feeling can do it. So it's really easy to manifest misfires if you're really angry, or if you're feeling hostile, or really fired up in an aggressive way. So be mindful of that too. You don't want to create distortions, and that applies to anything. And when I'm talking about manifesting, I'm not necessarily saying spell work. This is just the thoughts you hold, when you're engaged in your day-to-day life, and how you are a creator. And if you're doing spiritual work and you're moving into your role as an alchemist and fully owning that, there's a responsibility with wielding the power. And so certain things start getting highlighted in our life. We start noticing misfires coming up on our path, and it's to make us conscious. So we go, oh, wait a minute, why is this going on? What's happening here? What am I thinking? What am I feeling right now? what have my actions been aligning with? Because it's all just a mirror. And that's part of the glamour too. You may have been asking yourself, why do I keep experiencing endings? 10 of Cups in reverse. Why do I keep experiencing endings or disappointment when I thought I was finally reaching, that happy ending that I was hoping for in this saga? It has something to do with the mirror. It has something to do with polishing the inner mirror so that you can reflect a clearer vision, all right? So notice that. Pay attention to it. I feel like something's coming into alignment for you here that's actually going to refine your ability to manifest, okay? And manifest more favorable outcomes. What's on the floor here? This just got tossed aside. Maybe there's somebody here that needs to be tossed aside that's maybe part of sort of clouding that vision, all right? Because we have the King of Swords crossing energy that landed on the ground here, okay? There's some kind of discernment that's needed here with the King of Swords. It's not coming up in reverse. Air sign energy, big Aquarian energy there. Okay. It could also be Gemini. It could be Libra as well. Very strong Aquarian energy though. There's something here that you need to be very decisive about. You need to make a particular choice based entirely on your wisdom, on your intellect, not on the fantasy, not on feelings. It's more like a really steely judgment call, I have to say. You might need to take a more stoic approach to a particular character. Maybe somebody who has been really stirring things up for you, creating kind of volatile situations, acting out, causing a lot of disruption in your life. This would be somebody who's also really argumentative. They're really harsh with their words. They're coming at you. This could even be somebody who's in a little bit of legal trouble in some cases. Knight of Swords energy. What's behind this? Yeah, this is, okay, yep. This is also Emperor energy. So this could be somebody in a position of power as well. And there's something that's like working against you in this regard that's creating a lot of burden for you. Maybe putting a lot of pressure on you. Again, it's kind of interesting because that Ram energy appeared behind Artemis, kind of directing the focus. So maybe you have an Aries who's sort of goading you on in a particular direction. Maybe you're working for an Aries. Maybe you're taking their directive or something. Maybe there's something that needs to be balanced out here. Or maybe you need to be put in the loop because you feel like they've left you in the dark about something, okay? There's definitely a need to move away from an energy here, but I don't like this moving away from a situation, bringing forward sorrows with you. That's got to go, all right? And there could be a child involved in this situation, or it could be that a really young part of you is being activated in this situation, a young part of you, something that was in the shadows. Maybe you've been in a process of reclaiming a young part of you, but there's some child or young part of you in this situation that is getting kind of activated with whatever's going on here. There's a need to create space and distance here and to protect yourself, right? I think you've been worn out by somebody here, by somebody who's really been, kind of a taskmaster, I have to say. It may have been very stern with you, or you might be dealing with some kind of authority figure who's really making you do the work, or they're holding you accountable in some way, or they're just putting some kind of pressure on you. It's really burdening you. There's a lot of heartache here too with the Three of Swords. I feel like this needs to be balanced out. It's causing too much conflict here, too much disruption with the Five of Wands. right? There may even be like kind of a competitive situation that's involving this person, or some arguments that's been stirred up around them. Might have something to do with money, okay? Money, finances. Maybe this person could potentially get in your way because they see that you are healing, right? That you're investing in yourself, that you're starting to create some boundaries, that you're trying to pour some energy into yourself as well. You know, be live to this. Notice the energy when somebody comes around. How does it feel? Does this bring you peace? Does this bring you balance? Does this cause disruption? How does it shift your life? There's something that needs to be balanced out in a situation here. Well, what's coming in with this? What's the deal with this King of Swords? Give me some details. What's the deal? Oh, there's a devil right there. Devil popped out around. Yeah, there's blocks that need to be put in place in this situation so that your own waters can become clear, so you can have clarity. If you're feeling confused, it's because of somebody you're dealing with here, okay? You know, it's like you keep reviving something where, you know, you've already been stabbed in the back here. How many times are you going to let it happen? That's kind of how it's coming through, I have to tell you. We got the devil here, and right behind that, we got the strength. And behind that, we got the world, okay? So this is really interesting. There's also, remember that piece came in about like somebody playing somebody like puppets, or who's pulling the strings. I mean, this is somebody who's got power in this situation. They got worldly power. They could have financial power. Their position could grant them some kind of power. There can be a tendency at times to misuse this power. You could be dealing with a Capricorn, or you could be dealing with 10th house matters. Also, remember, you got Saturn in your sign, okay? So this is about doing the work. This is about pulling up the boots and doing the work. And somebody may be having you do most of the work, or putting a lot of pressure on you, or they're working you and you don't realize it. They're taking advantage of you. They're keeping you in the dark about something that you really should know about. There is a compromising situation here, and there is a tendency for the lower natures to rule, all right? And this could be as something as simple as just wanting that instant gratification, wanting that instant pleasure in some way. To indulge in the taboo makes one feel powerful, okay? But that power can quickly be distorted. And I say that because this comes in with the strength. So this is also talking about that Leo energy here, Leo season here. This is about balancing something out. It's the Empress who tames the lion. There's a need to go into the belly of the beast here, to really digest something, look at something, also to get beyond pride in a situation, or need to have power in a situation, and end a stalemate here in order for the road to open. Because I feel like there's some kind of blockage here that's creating conflict, or is causing this repeat cycle of disappointing experiences to keep happening here. It's like this endless loop. And each time you go around, you're getting more and more burdened, you know, and it never turns out the way you think it's gonna be. Now, you could be dealing with a Leo, you could be dealing with a Taurus, you could be dealing with an Aquarius, you could be dealing with a Scorpio. Scorpio, Aquarius came in really strong for you. Got strong Leo here too. You could also have any of these signs strongly aspected in your chart. That can give you a clue about where you may need to shift your view. You know, when it comes to Aquarius, we're looking at the 11th house. You may need to change your view about what's going down in your networks, in your connections with people, in your social circle, in your community, in the greater community, in the collective. 44:33 on the clock, right? Yeah, you might need to take, you know, a step back to bring your vision into alignment. There might be something you need to get a different perspective on there. House of Taurus, your sense of personal worth, your personal values, your finances, how you view material gain, what you'll do to get there. Do you compromise in any way to get there? You know, looking at these issues, where you might be stubborn, where you might need to get a different view of that to open up avenues for growth and abundance, okay? Leo's house, pleasure, having fun, you know, kicking up your heels. There might be something that needs to be balanced there. There might be something that you're engaging in that's fueled more by the fact that it's taboo. It's a little rebellious, you know. Again, I picked up those kind of like Pulp Fiction sort of vibes. Like, I just want to be bad for a while, okay? And Scorpio, I mean, that's a heavy hitter energy, really dealing with the shadow, dealing with the taboo, dealing with sexuality, all of these things. Something here has been too fixed and it's been in a holding pattern, and there needs to be more flexibility here. There needs to be more allowing here. There needs to be more openness here and a different perspective. Something needs to be brought to a close as well. It's going to take strength to overcome this. It's going to take strength to best this devil so you can really rise up into that personal empowerment. And this may also have something to do with changing, you know, the way others receive you. Maybe you're wanting to shift the way you're seen, the way you're viewed. Maybe you realize that you've been kind of playing a role for a while that's not really me. And now you're going through an identity shift. You want to show up in the world and represent that. And it can rock the boat. And that's part of it, okay? You got to ride those waves. You know, don't take troubles forward with you. But I do feel like there's something here that's caused a lot of disruption. It's caused a lot of problems. It's caused illusion. It's caused confusion. It's caused disruption. And you still kind of look at it and go, should I continue to invest in it? That's how it's coming through. And it's like, no. Like the King of Swords in reverse. No, you shouldn't. This is something you should cut off. There's something that's too prideful here. There's somebody who wants too much control. And there's something that's gone decidedly cold here. This can be a bit of King of Swords in reverse can be a very narcissistic kind of energy too. All right. It can be like dark triad energy, I have to say. There's something you need to be aware of here. And if somebody has shown you who they are, you got to trust that. You got to trust that. I think that there's some manipulation in a situation you're dealing with, and somebody you're connected to is kind of pulling strings, and there's a need to have boundaries. That's the way it's coming through in order to see something clearly here. I think the more that you do that and pour into yourself, the better you feel. The more you really realize that maybe you should shift your focus in a different direction. And I do feel like there's going to be different points of connection that come in here that really kind of set you on the right track and has you fully stepping into your power here in a way that brings blessings into your life, and not, you know, moments where you're left kind of scratching your head and going, how did I get here? What's this about? All right. Yeah, look at this. It's like holding out for an offer that's never going to come or is never going to level up. It is what it is, what it is here. There's too much resistance of really acknowledging what's happened here with the Death in reverse and with the Four of Cups in reverse. This energy definitely needs to be turned around to get a better outcome in this situation. And I went to turn this around just to see if it could like turn the you know, clarification card around, and it did the Ten of Swords in reverse. So yeah, there's something that needs to be brought to a close here that's not. And there needs to be boundary lines drawn. There needs to be pulling back to let water settle, get a clearer view. It's not until that happens that a way through comes through. What do I want to bring in here? What is needing to come through for Pisces Spirit? Lead me to the deck. Archangel power. Okay, I think that's good. We need to bring in something that has a little softer energy here. because the energy does feel like a little sharp or a little heavy. I mean, sharp and heavy. It sounds like, you know, Capricorn, rulers, Saturn, you know, sharp and heavy. Yeah, you know, that is stoic energy as far as planet influences are concerned. It is kind of sharp, you know. It is to the point. It is very direct, and it's heavy, you know. It is for sure. But look at this. We got the Chariot here. I love this. Archangel Metatron. You might want to call on Archangel Metatron to help you transmute some lower vibrational energies that may be keeping you stuck in a cycle so you can break free, raise the frequency, get that chariot moving forward. I like this too. Look at, there's one dark horse, there's one light horse here. So to me, this is talking about when you find the balance between the two is when you move forward. There's this transformation that needs to happen here first, though. It says determination and self-control, career advancement, acknowledgement of success by others, okay? So yes, there is something that you need to temper here. You need to have determination here. And interesting that that 10th house placement came through. So you might feel like you've been at odds with somebody. This could be somebody you work for. This could be somebody you've been in business with. This could be somebody you've been in a business partnership with that wants to call too many of the shots in a situation. This could be dealing with some kind of corporation, something along these lines, okay, where you just feel like you've been held back. Or maybe there's something that you did, you took a particular risk, you know, they didn't care for that, or something happened that put you at odds with whoever this is that you work for, you were working with. There might be something here about having a certain sense of determination and self-control to like really launch your own vision here. You know, make it happen. Go for your dream. Get focused. You might need to stop building the dreams of others. You may need to stop investing in other people's projects. You may need to stop being so concerned about creating something that brings in too many other people's creative vision. It's about, you know, activating your own vision here, I feel, right? I feel like whoever you dealt with, though, in this situation, there's something about them being really harsh with you or not appreciating your vision or your contribution, okay? There's something here about be determined, you know, stay focused on what you want to create. Maybe you don't need this person. Maybe you were compromising yourself because you felt you needed a particular person to advance. You don't, right? There's something you need to see differently here. That might be how you redeem yourself too, I have to say, with that 10th house energy. There's something you need to create for yourself here. You might also be dealing with a little bit of like guilt by association too. There may be somebody that you've been working with or partnering with that's affecting your reputation. You might need to rethink about who you partner with, you know, especially if you're wanting to launch something or you're trying to create a new avenue of growth for yourself financially, or, you know, just trying to, you know, present yourself in a certain way that is actually in alignment with who you really are. Like, I don't know, I get this piece like something has been out of integrity for you or you're out of alignment with it. And so it's almost like to continue to engage in this, it starts to hold you back more than you realize. Yep, look at this. You're meant to start a brand new cycle here. Leap of faith. Again, Archangel Metatron coming through really strongly for you. So do work with him to transmute this energy, because I feel like you're being affected by energy around you, people you're associated with, people you're connected to, people you're working with, people you're investing in. And there's a need to have better boundaries here and also really get more tapped into, is this resonant? Remember, it's about manifesting from the energy of love. So ask yourself, you know, is this like love? Is this like love? And if it's not, maybe, either think of how you can elevate the energy. And if that's not possible, then, it's about shifting the focus here. Love is what will lead you forward. And right with this, it says, believe in yourself, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. All right. So this is about really putting some focus on yourself and what you want to create, what you want to bring into being. It's actually a really beautiful energy. Okay. Any further details for Pisces, just to give them an overarching theme for moving forward, archangels? What does Pisces need to know in preparing to enter this new cycle? Again, there could be an Aries connected with this, with that Fool energy. There could be an Aquarius connected with this. There could be a Leo rising connected with this. You could have one of those signs strongly aspected in your chart. It's also about moving into greater expansion. It's about self-ownership. It's about putting yourself out there. It's about letting yourself be recognized for what you do, what you have to contribute. It's about putting your creative voice out there, about activating your personal vision, and not feeling like you have to have others, make a way for you, but really carving your own way and getting a little bold about it, Put yourself out there. Work with that Leo energy. Yeah, look at that. That's what will bring in those shifts. There's that 3 of Gabriel. It's akin to the 3 of Wands energy. And there's those ships coming in. I'm telling you. Prosperity arising from wise planning. Time to take the next step. Optimistic plans that turn out as expected. Okay? So don't sit on your dreams. And don't wait for somebody else to deliver them. And don't focus on other people's dreams. What's your dream? What would it feel like for your ships to come in, Pisces? Just think about that. Forget the superfluous stuff. Forget the surface level stuff. What would it feel like? Just really embody that. And then ask life to just show up for you in such a way to bring you what resonates with that energy you're embodying. And I think you're going to find that things start to flow a lot more. It seems like there's an energy that's transforming here for you. I'm going to get a super awesome future card for you. Now, this is what you got to be aware of. You are connected to some rats here. You are connected to a couple of rats here, all right? And somebody here is on the winning side of this. They're running off, and they're planning on leaving everybody else to clean up this mess. There's instability here with the rats, okay? And again, it was like the details, right? The devil's in the details. That like mouse energy came in. Mice, rats, same thing. Notice when these characters are around, how things start to feel, more unstable, more confusing, more chaotic. You could also be dealing with a couple people born in the year of the rat as well. Okay. You may be trying to get something over on a couple of rats too, You may be trying to run off from a situation. It can be mirrored situations here. There could be elements of all of it in play in this situation. There's a lot of subversive stuff going on, though, and something needs to be brought out in the open, okay, and balanced out. And it's going to be brought out in the open here. 25 energy, there's that 7 energy again. There will be some kind of electrifying moment here, a tower coming in. Let me get one card. And with that, look at that. There's that devil. You very well could be dealing with an Aquarius or a Leo rising here. There is something that needs to be transformed. Look for that full moon in Aquarius on the 19th. I think you're going to get a real clear view of who the trickster is in your situation.